From January the 1st, 2019, no citizen of Nigeria or legal occupants will access government services if he or she does not provide a verifiable national identification number. This is based on a directive by the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. But then, how many Nigerians even have their national identity card, and what are the implications of this directive for national development? This is our focus on Nigeria Today. Welcome to the program. I am DENIS ADEGUNLOYE. Right, join me in the studio to shed light on the National Identity Number Enforcement is the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, in person of Aliu Aziz. Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Hello, Dennis.
All right, it's a pleasure having you on this program. And the topic we're going to be discussing is certainly one of national interest that affects pretty much every citizen of the country. Let's start by just getting your standpoint. So what, for the purposes of public information, what is the National Identity Card and Number all about?
Well, the National Identification Number is an 11-digit randomly generated that is issued to a citizen or legal resident when they enroll into the National Identity Database. This number is similar to the US Social Security number and also that of National Insurance Number of UK, and then the Aadhaar number in India that enroll more than 1.3 billion people, and also similar to the BVN number that we recently had in Nigeria. So the card is a value add that after you enroll, you have been given the number which you can use digitally. Then the card is an added service that is given to people that enrolled. Okay,
just for the purpose of educating members of the public with regard to these government services, just highlight some of these crucial services that they would be deprived of if this number is not acquired.
Yeah, so the law that sets up NIMC, that is the 2007 Act, Section 27, stated that for the following services, that is obtaining international passport, or opening a bank account, or doing insurance transaction, or land transaction, or health insurance, or pension, or in fact an omnibus clause, any government services, and also voters registration, payment of taxes, and any other service that NIMC will put in a gazette.
Okay, so there's quite a wide spectrum of services.
And in 2017, we spent the whole year to come up with the regulations, which now encompasses many other services apart from the ones that have been specifically mentioned in the Act.
Okay, so why now that this enforcement is being carried out, so to speak, and not in times past?
Well, if you check the population of countries in the world, you'll see that Nigeria is number 7 right now. That is after China, India, US, then the Brazil, Indonesia, and Pakistan. Then Nigeria is the next one. And if you follow the news, January 31st, it says that we have delivered 25,000 babies nationwide. That is the ones that have been registered in the hospital. And it is not by accident, it is not by design that they were delivered on that 31st. It is an everyday occurrence that has been
25,000 babies daily in Nigeria born.
Yes.
Wow, that's a number.
So we've been having these babies and we have not been registering. We have not been giving unique identification to individuals. But all these other countries that I mentioned, even the small ones surrounding us, have been enrolling their people. So we have a backlog of millions, more than 100 million, that don't have any form of identification. So we have gone through this process, ups and downs, for several times. But this time around, with the help of development partners, we came up with a program that we have the back end, that is the infrastructure at the back end. We come up with the funding aspect of it, and therefore we felt that we are ready now, that it is a 3-year program. We are ready to start, so that by the end of 3 years, we should have enrolled each and every person that is in the soil of Nigeria.
Okay, just for clarification, I mean, the directive said 1st of January 2019, but from what you're saying, it's not that it must be from a few days ago that you must now have an NIN number, but the program is going to stretch.
Yes, it's going to stretch for 3 years.
Okay.
You know, we've been having different programs before, like a big bank for a few weeks. It's because of the nature of the country that we have silos of data, that they are not talking to each other. So all the agencies that I mentioned, that we have been having harmonization committee meeting, and all of us agreed that this is the way to go by, and we have gone to the Federal Executive Council and we got approval with the President in Council, so everyone accepted. And the benefits are so huge, and they felt that we should commence it. So we have set up this date to commence, that from now up to 3 years, that everybody must have some form of identification. Otherwise, that in this digital era that we are living, then it will be very, very difficult for us. It's too fundamental that we have not done it before.
All right, so there's no cause for alarm on the part of the citizenry with this particular January the 1st, 2019 directive?
Yeah, there's no cause of alarm, that we have about 1,000 registration centers now all over the nation. It's not enough, but with the licensing that we're going to do to both government agencies and private sector, so we expect that we'll have more than 4,000 centers to make it easy. But for now, people that come out, and at the back end, we have the capacity. As I was just coming here and I asked, because we have upgraded the back end, and I was told that we are capable of processing 22,000 records in 1 hour. That translates to like 6 records in 1 second. Okay. And therefore, if even 10,000 enrollment centers are working together at the back end, we are ready for that.
All right. So what category of citizens would be directly affected by this NIN number?
The NIN number is for everybody. Because when you have a database, anytime you have exception, then you are creating problems. Therefore, we are to enroll once that you have a child, that within 3 months that you need to enroll the child. And then all the adult population, then Nigerians in diaspora, then the IDPs, refugees, everybody needs to be enrolled, and also foreigners that are legally resident here. Because if you are living illegally, then that is a criminal activity. So it is on the criminal database that we should enroll such kind of people. So the database is all inclusive. It's for everybody. Otherwise, will be having excuses that I do not know who did this and whatever. So, and we don't want to get into that perspective.
All right, for the purposes of clarity, let's say somebody wants to now go and register for this NIN number. Yes. What is the procedure that they would have to follow?
Well, if you are a child, then you need your parent to have registered and have the NIN. But if you are an adult, all you need is to give some evidence of who you are, like said, any existing form of identification that you have evidence, just to be sure that we tie your records with other ones. But in fact, even if you don't have anything, then if you prove that you don't have anything, we will still enroll you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, the directive is gradually becoming operational. What's about those who have registered and are yet to receive a message from the collection centers to come and pick up their NIN number and, of course, the card?
As I said, that the system is very efficient in giving the national identification number. But there are some people that when they register and they did not get the card, so they go again to go and register, and therefore there will be a match in the database that this new registration resembles this particular person, and that requires a manual adjudication by a human being. So those type of records takes time to clear. But if you just go and register, it's fresh registration, then within 24 hours you will get your national identification number. Always go back to where you register, you will get your NIN slip. So this is an example of a NIN slip that also have the NIN itself. Okay. But the majority of complaints that we have to do with the card
itself.
As we said, most of these developed countries do not concentrate on the card. They concentrate on registering people first of all. So that is why we said for these 3 years we are going to concentrate on registering people and give them the national identification number.
From my understanding, it's a criminal offense. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a criminal offense to actually register twice.
Of course, yes. The act is very, very clear that you should not register twice. And a lot of people that have been doing it may be based on ignorance. And the system is very intelligent to show people that you cannot register twice.
All right, we are discussing the National Identity Number Enforcement, recently brought forth by the National Identity Management Commission. You are watching Nigeria Today, and that is our topic. We had our correspondent Alika go out into the streets earlier to ask Nigerians if they are compliant with the new National Identity Number Enforcement. We'll be back after this break.
As a citizen of Nigeria, you need to have this national identification card so that people can identify you.
I have the first one. The present one, I think I went to the office, I did capturing more than 3 years and I have not got the card.
Yeah, I have it. I have the former one and the current one.
I did ID card this thing for more than 5 years now. I still have the temporary one at home. Just I mean, each time I go there, they say it's not ready. I don't know why. More than 5 years now, I did it. I have not got the original one.
The one I have in 2010, I misplaced it. I don't know where I misplaced it. So and I want to do another one. But when I used to go to Federal Secretariat to do another one, I see that people are much. So that was the reason why I forgot about it.
I don't have national ID card, but I only have voter's card.
I went to somewhere to apply it and I was told to come back. I went back. They were referring me to somewhere else, which is zone 7 or thereabout. So I couldn't really meet up there.
You're watching Nigeria Today, and we are looking at national identity number enforcement. Our guest, the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the NIMC, in person of Aliu Aziz. There was one particular interviewee on our Vox Pops there, and I'm sure he speaks for millions of people in the country.
Sure.
I know we're focusing on the NIN number, but let's just briefly look at the card itself. It's taken 5 years, he said, for him to receive his card. What is going on with regards to this particular complaint that millions of Nigerians have?
Okay. Well, some of them mention the first one and then the second one. I want to clarify that this particular enrollment registration started February 2012.
Okay.
So it's only the ones that enroll from 2012 to now that that are eligible for NIN. Then secondly, somebody thought that he was given temporary, something temporary. So that should be this one. In NIMC's vocabulary, there is nothing temporary. Because this NIN slip, national identification number slip that is given, or the transaction slip that will be given at the beginning before this one, they are all a secure document. They are done on a secure paper, so they are not temporary. Okay. So they should stop using the word temporary. So because this is again only the place where that the NIN is written. If you get the card, NIN is not written on it because it is a secure social security.
Just a second, just hold that up for us, please.
Yeah.
This temporary card. Just to the camera there.
Yeah.
So now resuming.
Okay. So this is somebody's NIN. Therefore, I covered the.
So this card, this card is a valuable piece of.
This is a secure document.
Yeah.
It is printed with from security printing.
Okay.
Therefore, it is a secure document. So one is expected to keep it because it is not temporary, as I mentioned before.
Okay. So
that is where you
gets a card,
and that is where that is where your NIN is written. Should in case you have forgotten, but you can also use *346# to now retrieve your number if you have forgotten. *346#.
That's on any network?
Yes, on any of the networks.
Okay.
So on the card, there is no NIN written on the card.
Okay.
The NIN is inside the chip itself.
Okay, it's inside the...
And what you have is the card number, document number below. And this is PAN number to do with the payment applet. So this is the document number, and it is for this card. So if you lose the card or it expired, if you are given another card, you will be given a different document number. But your NIN will never change. And it will never be given to any other person again. If one is it does not expire until when one is dead.
Okay.
So then secondly, one mentioned that because he sees queue.
that is off-putting for a lot of people. It's almost like going to
off. Like I said, we have more than 1,000 centers nationwide, and we are not operating to full capacity.
Okay.
So people are required to exercise patience. That anything that very important, you need to spend a little bit of time. Then there is a way of simplifying the process too. You can go online and enter the information and then print a 2D barcode, so that when you come, it fast tracks the information. Then apart from that, the approved ecosystem approach that we said is that every other agency that you go to, like if you go to INEC, the law says before they gives you they register you into the voters registration, you need to show them your NIN, national identification number, so that they put it in the database, so that we tie everything. If you don't have, then they should enroll you and send that information to NIMC to generate. So this is the ecosystem that we are talking about. That will, a lot of people that will bring many registration centers, so that we should stop duplicating costs, and we will be able to harmonize the system.
Okay, so this documents, the piece of paper with the NIN number,
yes,
it is valid for those who are in purchase of it to access these government services.
What is valid is your number.
Yeah.
So even if I ask you your phone number, you don't need to show me the card. You just tell me the number.
Okay.
So when you go to anywhere for service, you can just call your number. Get used to your number. It's 11-digit number. You call your number, then it is them that will verify who you are. But when you come with the slip too, they need to still verify that the slip is the unique slip, and you do that digitally.
Because I know of some people who have complained that they've shown this piece of paper at whatever agency, and they've been told that we can't accept this, you need to see your card.
No, that was like in 2016.
Okay.
People were battling with the banks, but we worked on that. The CBN governor have given instruction, the National Assembly have also given instruction. So now everybody accepts the slip, and if they have any complaints, then they can let us know, so that we can pursue the matter.
All right. Over the next 3 years of this program, which agencies are going to be responsible for the enforcement? Obviously NIMC, but you in collaboration with any other agencies in terms of enforcing this?
Well, enforcement is first of all, there have to be awareness. If there is a lot of awareness, then, like I mentioned, when people were going to the banks and they were refusing, it's the CBN and also the National Assembly that enforces them to accept the number. It's not actually that NIMC that have to go around and be enforcing. The same thing that for any identification, that is the NIN, that is the acceptable by law. So a police officer can ask you for NIN, or if you go to a service they could not give you, you can report them to a police, you can take them to court. The court will go through the laws and then find out whether they have they need sanction or whatever it is. But actually our approach has been to caution people and let them and give them a long period. Like we said, it is 3 years that you need to enforce this, and we have started. That is 3 days ago. So we'll be counting the remaining number of days.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure over the next 3 years, Nigerians will certainly key into this initiative by NIMC, and it will certainly go a long way to boosting security in the country.
Of course.
And identifying who is who, which is very important for our national security and development.
Yeah.
Time is not on our side. We need to say thank you right now to Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, Mr. Aliu Aziz. Thank you for your insight on this very important topic today.
Thank you, Dennis.
And
thanks, viewers.
You're welcome, sir. Yeah. And to our guests, to our viewers, thanks for, as always, for your time. And remember, this or any other edition can be watched online at www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. I am Dennis ADEGUNLOYE. Thanks for watching.